guys, Will, Potato Strong. Just cut the grass. Gonna head to the grocery store and get some refried beans. I was just at the store yesterday and I totally forgot. I was looking for pinto beans, dry ones or canned, that I could make my own, but they didn't have any. So, yeah, I totally forgot to get the actual refried beans. I urge you guys to experiment with different foods. I mentioned before when I started this that I was eating a lot of mashed potatoes and brown gravy, and I noticed that they were so filling, and it's become my strategy to be satiated, be full, 3 meals, and not to snack too much in between. A lot of people and doctors talk about nutrients, and I think we're getting lots of them with whole foods, fruit and vegetables, legumes and grains, whole grains. But another important factor is, for me, and maybe some of you guys, is hunger, the hunger drive. So your body doesn't really, as far as I can tell, is, your body knows when you've had, a certain amount of food, but most people are overeating with all the high density calorie foods, so their body doesn't say, oh, you've had 1,000 calories, that's enough. You just keep eating, or you ignore them. And so I don't really think that when you're eating something, it's always a certain calorie point, and then your body says, okay, like say you're going to eat rice or something, okay, I've had enough, I don't need any more. I don't really think it's 100% like that. Certain foods seem to fill you up more than others. So I use that. I want to make sure I get all the nutrients from fruits and vegetables and on salads, like leafy greens. I'm just going to go on the highway here, so it's going to get a little noisier. But so I make sure I get the nutrients that I need. But a large percent of my success is from focusing on satisfying the hunger. A lot of people get hungry and they go off the rails. They might binge, they might grab something, fast food or something like that. So lately, for some reason, we bought these refried beans. They're not really fried or anything, but they were so filling. I had them on a quesadilla, so I just, there's no cheese in it, but you just put some refried beans on a corn tortilla, put some chopped, slice up some red and green pepper and onion. They're raw, you don't really cook them. Then you put another tortilla on top of that, and I just fry it on a pan with no oil, dry, and that heats up the peppers a bit. But I like that raw, basically raw. And I noticed that, I put some salsa on there. I did a calculation. I had 2.5 quesadillas yesterday for lunch. And each quesadilla takes 2 tortillas, and they're about 50 calories each. They're small corn tortillas, there's no fat. So I figured 5 tortillas times 40 or 50 calories is about 250 calories. Half a can of refried beans is about 150 calories. So that's 400 calories. And then I have a pile of salsa. At the most, it's 100 calories. I don't even think it's that much. So it's like 500 calories. It was so filling. So an important strategy is to use foods that fill you up too, as a large part of what you're doing. So obviously you want to get the healthy foods, but this will just help so much when you're trying to but when you're trying to lose some fat and not overeat. So there's a strategy of using certain types of food. So right now, for me, that's beans, and potatoes. And you know, you have to eat enough of the potatoes. You can't just eat one potato and, you know, as your meal, and it's like the same thing when people eat fruit. You know, they eat an apple and they're not full, and it's like, well, you didn't eat enough. You know, a potato might be 100 calories or so, depending on the size, and you know, that's not very much. But 500 or 600 calories of potatoes is incredibly filling. So I'm just pulling into the parking lot here. It's an excellent strategy. I think you guys should try that. Like, I've eaten other things like rice, and you know, I eat rice, but it's not the main thing that fills me up. You know how a lot of people eat the certain foods, Chinese food or whatever, and a lot of times they say they're still hungry. You know, with the vegetables and that. And you have to have something. You have to eat enough. If you're eating rice, you have to eat a lot of rice, in my mind, in my opinion. So, but you know, sometimes people think beans are too high in calorie, but you got to look at everything you're eating. You might be eating, like, you know, going to restaurants and socializing and snacking, desserts, all sorts of things, and the beans might not be the actual issue, but just, I urge you to experiment and try things. Like, I recently cut out caffeine. I just thought, let's try that. Let's see how my body reacts. And, you know, over time you just keep modifying things and improving. So, alright, I'm going to head into the store here. So we'll talk to you guys later.